So anyway.
I thought I was going to get something good out of Coda Boy. We are live. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for showing up. I think this is what, day 4?
Day 4. This is the this is becoming a regular thing.
Hold on. Let me do this real quick. So is your 6 covered? That's where we are, right?
Yes, we is.
All right. So if I do a real quick live, go live, video.
I don't like this screen. I don't like that one either.
Video.
Try this one. There we go. That's much better. Hello, everybody. We got Jackson out there. We got Bald and Curious. We sent him an invite, but he said he's drunk and tired, but there he is.
Hold on one second. Here we go.
Lakeview.
All right, guys. Coda Boy 32 here. Check it out. So an impromptu invite from my good friend Is Your 6 Covered. And I am going to be going live over there. Actually, we're live right now.
Yes, we are.
Yes. So anyway, we're live at Is Your 6 Covered. We'll be answering questions along with X-Ring, the expert, and then his illustrious, the firefighter, the man himself, Rick Is Your 6 Covered. So get on over there. Is Your 6 Covered is the thing. Anyway, I'm too tired to put a link in there. Here we go. Stand by.
All right, now the Coda Boy's done. All right, first thing, we got some news coming out of Lakeview Outdoors. Had sent a comment over to us saying that www.dragontargets.com has 8-inch AR-500 3/8 steel gongs for $9.95. Each limit 2 per customer and a $10 flat rate. So he ordered 2 and out the door it was $29.95. So there you go. If you guys are looking for some targets, go check that out. There you go, Lakeview Outdoors. Thanks for the heads up on that. Bad Billy 429's here. Steel Punisher. Matthew Porter. Blue Healer 260 was the first one that came in earlier. Warsaw Patriot. Robert Warren. And my code. I got to type in my password. I hate this damn computer. All right. Type it 10 times. All right.
The story of my world right behind me. Let me tell you that.
D's in the house. I gotta show you guys this because it's it took me all damn day to do it. So I am going to show you that I cleaned up the entire workbench, sorted all the ammo, brass. What is going on?
Can I ask you a simple question?
No. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you spent all that time. Can you put a torpedo level on that power strip behind you?
No, it's still off by about 2 degrees.
Okay.
TB's there. How you doing, TB? We got quite a few people showing. You got KW30. And then we have Rodriguez. How you doing, Rodriguez? You're new to the channel.
I am new to the channel. I'm doing well. I'm trying to get everything set up for the Bushnell Elite.
Nice.
So just real quick, I always ran a battle belt in all these competitions, and I am going to try something a little different, and I went with the G-code system. So it runs an inner belt, kind of like what we do in all of our Safariland stuff, guys. It has this lightweight one where you can still put your Scorpion holders in it. And it's a Cobra belt, but it's ultra lightweight. So I'm really looking forward to this.
Nice. Very nice. News today. I got a letter from the President of the President of the United States of America. Look at that. He had sent me a letter. I'm not really sure what it is yet. I haven't opened it, but look at that. Oh, there's Bryson Shoots. What's up, Mr. Bryson?
What's up, Bryson?
Reprofile your Tapco hammer on your AK. No, I'm going to sell that thing and get something else. I might get a Palmetto State Armory. That what is that? A PKAK half
It's
AK?
PSA 5. PSA 5.
No, not that one. I want one of
He's
those.
talking about the AKV.
PK AKV. What?
Yeah, the AKV 9mm. Or are you
Yeah.
talking about the other one, the AK and 7.62?
No. 7.62 by 39.
May you have multiple people who are showing up tonight. All right. So anyway,
Esau says,
okay, we're
"Yeah,
32
tea,
beverage.
Diet Coke beverage."
All right, just let everybody know that I am absolutely coherent this evening. So there's nothing in this cup.
What is that, a coffee cup?
It's full of ice.
I know there's no coffee in that. That's just not even possible. So yeah,
So anyway,
get rid of that AK. Give me a different AK.
oh man, I'll tell you what.
Go to
So what?
That the video that basically was an MP5 clone by PSA. That thing looks pretty cool.
Yeah, actually, it is going to be pretty cool because there's some upgrades. They actually expanded on the existing platform, so it's pretty cool. They have a welded Picatinny rail along the top of it. They've also got some serious front sight post, and some people, were complaining about they were talking about the rear sight post. But it should be interesting when it comes out. So hopefully we get one, and because that is an iconic platform. An HK MP5 back in my military days was the go-to. It was the new thing, and it is ultimate. It's one of the cool things. I would love to have one. Hint, hint.
I think you'll end up with one before most people will, so that's cool. Make sure it heads west when you're done with
I don't know, but can we get some stripper music for the man, the myth, the legend?
That's pretty good, man.
The belt right now.
That's pretty damn good. I like it. A lot of practice.
Try. So hopefully we get some traffic coming in on your way.
Yeah.
Hope you guys had that.
Those
little,
people. Here's a new name, Mario Mechanic.
Mechanic Molina. Hello, Mario.
Thanks for showing up, buddy. Richard Elby. I don't know if I said that right. Dog Patch. Yeah, got quite a few little new people. Midnight Ranger TM. Up June 8th is the Harrisburg, Pennsylvania rally on Monday. Hope you can make it there, Kid Boy.
No, I can't, dude. It's so funny because everybody thinks, hey, make it to the rally. I'm going, I have no idea what my life consists of. And it's just, I'd love to be there.
Between work and then your stripper job you do on.
Well, it's the stripper job. If you're familiar with Harrisburg, I work full time at Savannah's. I'm a stripper there. So, and then also I have a full-time family life, at home in the Carolinas. So it's tough, man. And a 2A advocate. It's just the boot is just too much. So,
Another friend of yours came over, the neighbor guys. Appreciate you showing up.
Yeah. There's Richard Elby, my fellow airborne paratrooper, super stupid stud.
Why'd he show up?
He's probably one of the only guys that can relate to drinking a half gallon of bourbon the night before and going running 8 miles the morning after.
Who's this?
Richard Elby.
Oh, gotcha. Hitting steals out there.
Frank Rizzo.
R-I-Z-Z-O.
Midnight Range. He knows what I'm talking about with Savannah's. Can you? I gotta go make some more coffee. Is there a way to turn this camera off, or are we just we're okay? Stop cam.
There you go.
All right, stop cam.
All right, Ray, so what are you doing, buddy?
I'll be right back.
All right.
I am. I think Bryson's on here now, but we were just on the phone about what battle belt rig we're going to be running for this Bushnell Elite Sniper match coming up in about 2 weeks. So I am trying to get everything rigged up on this belt because I'm doing something I don't normally do, and that's switching my setup before a major match. So
you're taking everything off your battle belt and putting it on that one.
correct. And I just got to get the placement and everything. So a little bit of
holster setup.
Tips and tricks here. So if I'm running a team match, it's not only what you have on your belt, but it's also if you're working with a partner. If I'm on the gun and I am engaging targets, and for whatever reason I start to run low on rounds, I'll yell mag, and rather than him grab me and disrupt this, or me having to come off the gun, he can actually grab one of the packs. So I will run one of these on my pack as well, because the pack is usually not on your back. And so while you're going, because you'll have an idea when you're getting ready to start running out, or if you get some targets that are giving you a hard time, he can just hand it, and it's just an immediate mag change.
It's right there behind you. It's just like the simple practice on a chest rig, or you got the back. You've got spare mags back here, some grenades or whatever. The guy running behind you could actually pop and reload.
Yeah,
that kind of.
So yeah, that's what I'm working on.
I would like to say hi to Inside Freedom. He's one amazing guy. So there
you go. He is an amazing guy.
He are.
Dog Patch, Buzz Fork 8, Georgia Rebel. Yeah, we get a lot of new customers showing up. So what's your next latest and greatest purchase there, Mr. Coda Boy?
Oh, for the love of God. Okay, so we're going big bore pistol next time.
No. Is it desert?
No, it's not desert. It's a 44 mag. And it's going to be scoped. It's the Ruger 7.5-inch barrel. It's going to be bad as hell. I ran into it. It was a good sale, used. And evidently, the guy had some trigger work done on it, so it's absolutely amazing. The trigger's not quite as sensitive as the Atlas Titan, which Ray will tell you. And I've had this happen like in a couple of competition shoots, man. Reload, bam!
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that. So,
yes, you did. You have to say yes, you did.
Yeah. As long as you don't send one over to Barham, you're good to go, man. But I'm really excited about doing that. And then we've got 2 rifle builds. One's a sponsored up by the guys over there at Strike Industries, and a lot of cool stuff. And then Air Precision. So I bought all the Air Precision stuff because I didn't have time to wait for anybody to get around. It's my one thing is that I'm high speed, low drag, and if I am contacting a company and they're 2 days late getting back to me, I'm like, screw it, I ain't got time for this shit. Let's roll. So it's gonna be fun, man. And we got a really cool situation coming up this week with the guys over there at Arms List on Saturday. I'm doing a instructional deal where we're going to be showing people the proper means and methods of putting together their AR.
Nice.
So
is that back in the Carolinas, or back? Are you going to be in PA still?
Yeah, it's up here in PA, actually. They're based out of Pittsburgh.
Look at that. A little more freedom headed north.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
And those guys are all about, Second Amendment. They're constantly being sued by people who are, thinking that like their kid was killed by somebody who used a gun that was purchased off of Arms List. So they think Arms List is responsible for the kid's death. And there is Mr. Bad Billy. That kid is cool, man. I love that dude.
He actually sent me a link today on Arms List for some powder I was looking for. I guess they had about 8-pound jugs of it. So I need to get over there and order some. Send it to Ray.
All right, I tried to do a video on this guy right here. This is the Warren Tactical scope mount. but the Arisaka scope mounting leveling kit does not work on this guy. So we're going to have to do it old school method, but I'm going to do that tomorrow. Hopefully, if it is not snowing or rain where I'm at.
I don't think I'd ever buy one of those what detaches like that.
The Warren Tactical scope rings?
Yeah, where you can take it off.
Oh, you're just saying that because Ray said that.
No, I'm saying that because I don't have one, nor would I buy one.
Well, I didn't buy it, so that's why I'm using it. But actually, I've got
you could actually use that because you're on a new rifle every other 2 days.
Yeah, and I mean that's one of the things is like this is a really good mount, because they're. I mean, look at this thing, man. The loosening the. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's there's clicks in it. Yeah, it's ratchet. It's like a click system, so it's really cool. But I mean, you're gonna go. Ray, what's the high end scope mount you use? The
Spurs.
The Burra. The who?
Spur.
So we've got a Spur coming in. I got a couple other. I mean, it's like scope mounts are a dime a dozen, but honestly, when you start getting into the higher end stuff where you need the dope card, you need the levelers and things like that, there's only a few companies that really call to that lineup.
Yeah,
I'm a big American Defense fan, but they're more tactical versus the competition world. So it's an interesting thing where that comes from. But I decided to try to mount this on. I actually did a video on it, and I didn't like the video that I did because I was doing the Arisaka, like I said. But it doesn't have a long enough shelf to get in there because it rides up, and then there's no way to level the scope with the mount. So we're gonna have to do it old school method, man. And it's taking a rifle, leveling it, taking it, and leveling the scope to match the degrees of the rifle. And if it's not snowing or sleeting or doing whatever it has, then I'll be doing that video tomorrow. Yeah, there
Jackson
you go.
ordered that mount.
Two of these. These are the F3R machine. And so he knows Cody as well, but that's a robust mount. And for $129 on sale right now, there's nothing out there that will touch it, I don't think.
I'll tell you what, you send me a link and I'll buy a couple of them right now. I'm that serious about it. I'm not fucking around with this shit, dude. I have learned, and you guys, if you're watching this channel, I have taken this gray-haired hippie dude. I literally have, when he speaks, we listen. But you know what's cool is that we learn from each other. I mean, you take information from one another, and it's really cool. It's like the Trigger Tech Diamond.
Yep.
It's a couple other things, but you take from one another and you learn. So I want a link from that guy or
information sharing. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a serious question. Hold on.
That'd be a KB32 question.
I don't see it. Where's it at?
Brian Quick's got a question. All right.
Where's it at?
Right here.
Oh, has anyone figured out why CZ guys smell like garlic hummus? It's pronounced hummus. And what you need to do is you call Big Johnson USA. He'll tell you why he smell like hummus.
Anyways. Hello from Fort Worth, Texas. Chess Cabler. Joaquin's out there and the light has gone down.
Yeah, Hitty Steel -CA, man. I tell you what, Eagle Eye.
I sent him a link.
Dude, he is one awesome fellow. I love that guy.
He's a smart dude.
Hey, so hold on for a second. If I want to post something, how do I post the link? Because I put it in the private chat tab, and of course it doesn't go public, but live comments doesn't allow me to type.
Oh, it's www.f3rmachine.com.
Oh my God.
You can hit the button.
Hey, Mario Molina. Wait a minute.
You can't put it in there, huh?
Can I go to college with you? All right. So anyway, Mario, I'd love to be able to make it out there for the Steel Challenge. Unfortunately, right now I'm in the middle of trying to get my house done, and my weekend time. If I take away from weekend time, my wife will kill me. I don't wear the pants like Rob does in his house.
I'm out of 178 ELDs. No.
He must be shooting 308.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ray.
No, that was it. All right, so I got this battle belt set up. So just real quick, it seems like it's going to work well. We're not going to do a nut cam or anything, but basically you have a Cobra buckle here.
Here's
So
some things.
you hit the Cobra buckle, which is not going to come off accidentally. I can promise you that. Once that comes off, you have an inner belt that actually has another tensioner right here, and so this would be comfortable as a belt itself. So I'm running 2 Glock mags, 1 AR mag. And then for those guys that don't know, this is called a G-code setup. And what's really nice about the G-code or the wheel, I'm going to get this back up here. So if you have the wheel.
Thank you very much, because you're
have multiple holsters or multiple configurations, what you do is pretend this is mounted on the belt. You'll see that we've got 3, and that's an aluminum plate. This will interface, drop down, and once it drops down, this tab, you press it, and on the other side, you'll see it come out right here. That will not come off, and these are retention hood holsters that are extremely fast. John will attest to that. And then as soon as you get done with the stage or whatever, you can hit that safety tab, release, and then you're gone. So
the best part about that G-code holster system is that if you're running and gunning, how many times, Ray, have you seen guys run and their shit? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, how many times have you seen people running and their stuff falls out?
Oh, I can't tell you how many DQs I've seen because of that.
A $300 DQ, it ain't fun.
Yeah, I can't say enough good stuff about G-code. I've been running it for years now. The only thing about it is don't be in a hurry when you order it. It's going to take about 2 weeks before you see it because they make everything. And so the fit for the pistol that you order it for, like if you order it for Glock 34, it is not going to move. It's not going to slide. It's super quiet.
Well, I will tell you this. When I ordered my G-code for the 2011, it took a total of 3 days.
Wow, that's quick.
Yeah, that's fast because we just ordered 2 more, and it took 2.5 weeks, and then we just placed another order 3 days ago, and we hadn't even got the confirmation yet. So 2 to 3 weeks.
Well, what you do is you got to put the your YouTube email address in there, Codaboy32. And the stuff is expressed.
There you go.
Now I tell you what, man, that's like I did the YouTube video the other day with the shooting the Atlas out at the range, and I've had people comment like, "What holster system were you using?" And I was like, I actually couldn't remember. I was like, the G-code, and we're in 3-gun. I would be more worried about losing the gun in a transition or a run versus trying to get it to pull as fast as I could, like USPSA.
Correct.
Yeah. Elaborate on that, Ray.
Okay, so like let's say you're using something like one of these holsters. Okay, so this is a Safariland, and it's not the fastest thing out there like some of the double alphas or whatever. But basically, you don't have a holster you have to clear and draw out of. You can literally, because I can't show firearms on this live chat now, there's a little barrel plug here, and you change that barrel plug based on the caliber you're shooting. So the pistol actually, the muzzle just touches in that barrel plug, and then it just rocks back. So when you clear literally like this, and you're out of there.
Well, in actuality, and you were sitting there at the match, and I don't know if you remember what match it was, but somebody they went to lock their thing in the holster, and it just rolled right out. Now, technically, that would have been a DQ at a major match.
Correct.
But because it was it was a good old local boys thing, But still, I'm so wary of holsters like that, or holster retaining systems. I don't want to call them holsters because they're not.
Yeah, and then the friction slip, that's a whole other thing because this has friction tensioners on it for the G code. But in 3-gun, they've allowed reholstering. So if there's a stage, now this is faster. You're going to be faster out of the draw with something like this, but reholstering will not be as fast. Now this does have a lock mechanism, so you can lock it in, but you always, as soon as you get done with the string of fire, you're going to have to look, find that barrel plug, get it in, lock it, and then take off running. Whereas with like a G code, it is as soon as you're done, you just holster flip, and it is not going to come out of there. So once they allowed reholstering in a lot of these matches, that changed people using these as much.
Yeah, and I tell you what, man, when you turn me on a G code, I just I actually purchased one. I had to pay for it. It was ridiculous.
My favorite part is when you're done shooting.
Pay for it. It's ridiculous. Anyway, no.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I know, right?
My favorite part though is when you're done shooting, you can take it off and throw it, and then you can still walk around without it. You know, paste up pasties and pick up steel.
The thing to remember, guys, is G code wasn't set up to be competition style holsters. These are actually hard use military and duty style holsters, and so they're built very, very well.
Well, that's the whole thing. That's the reason I bought it, because you've seen me go to the ground in the mud.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, and guys, the worst thing you can do is be paying a huge entry fee and go to the ground, or you're just running from transition to one thing. You're relying on that Blade Tech holster. You got a gun that weighs 4 pounds. And all of a sudden it flips out. I've seen it, Matt Pierce.
Yep.
We're even that one dude was on the last stage there at Clinton House, man. His stuff, it came loose around his waist and just walked itself to the ground.
That's right. Last stage of the day, last shooter of the day almost, and he was going home. So, for example, guys, like this Bushnell Elite Sniper match that we're shooting in 2 weeks, myself and Bryce, I think he's still on the channel. $500 entry fee for the team.
Yeah.
So $250 each. Plus, it's about 4 hours away. So we got fuel costs. Plus, you've got 3 nights of hotel. So by the time you factor all that in, let's say you're doing well and you make it past the first and second day, but your holster just happens to give up the ghost and let your pistol out. You're going with nothing.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I use a G code holster, but I use it on a permanent a fixed belt thing. I don't rely on. I have a problem with that, and it may not be an issue for anybody else.
It won't come off.
For me personally, I'm worried. And
you just got to make sure that thing slid over.
Yeah.
As long as you throw the cross bolt in there, it's not going to come off. But if you forget, yes, you're going to lose it. So I always do a check if I've taken it off. And I literally lift it as hard as I can to make sure it's not going to come out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then secondly, if you're running a G code, you're gonna when you go down to draw that thing, you're pushing all the way down to get that bell out of the way so you can draw it out. And when I was doing the range thing the other day, that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people Pops and I were talking about. He was like, "That's a real good time." At 15 yards, but he goes, "Well, what holster are you using?" I was like, G code. And I'm coming off of it. I'm in condition 1 where I'm coming out, I'm sweeping the safety off. And the funny thing is when you sweep that safety off and it goes pow, 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 it's kind of scary.
Are you going ahead and pulling the trigger and then
I'm pulling the shit out of it. I don't care. I found out as long as you're pulling it, it's downrange, it doesn't go to the berm, you're good.
Yeah.
Pop around, go.
You put a bump stop kit in it.
Oh, so I went to the Great American Outdoor Show this week, today. And I ran into the guys from Tacticam. And I was like, yeah, so that really cool guy, I can't remember his name, sent this stuff to me, Eduardo or something like that. I was like,
Nunez. It's Rudy Nunez.
Rudy. I was like, oh my God. they're gonna go back. Like this dude didn't even remember your name. And I'm like, yeah, that was me. Rudy Eduardo Jimenez,
Contacts you have to do.
Dude,
You know,
Jorge. I was in the army. He was like, dude, we had more Jorge's and Eduardo's than you could shake a stick at, man. These guys were a dime a dozen. So
Jesus's, George's.
So anyway, and then I did talk to Mr. Ethan and I talked to Ben Zimmerman. I had a busy day today, man. We were
just
gunning.
got off the phone with Ethan. I was on the phone with him for about 30 minutes.
Yeah. You got to chill out on the time with him, man. He's complaining about that. So.
No, he called me. I didn't call him.
Yeah, I mean, when he says "let's cut to the chase," it's time to get off the phone. So I'm just saying. Okay?
That's actually what he said.
Get away from my freaking sponsors, and then next thing you know, man, I got fucking what's his name, Honest Outlaw, sucking up my YouTube.
Yeah, because he told me that he's got Honest Outlaw doing stuff now.
Yeah. Whatever.
Now, I haven't talked about these in a while. I just shipped out a bunch of those today since this is a live chat, and for the guys, I don't know how long you've been around on the channel. If you own an STI or any type of 2011 or 1911 with the standard 440 hole and you need a magazine release, I actually make these.
And they work really good.
And yes, they work extremely well.
Okay. Let me tell people how well they work. Okay, so anyway, I put one of these guys on my 2011, my Atlas Titan, by the way, and I'm getting ready to test out another one here very near future. Those things are awesome because they don't get in the way.
Yeah, I machined these out of titanium. I put a lot of thought into it on the width of it and how big it is.
Hey, listen, I've got another 2011 coming my way. So, in memorial of Bald and Curious, you're gonna hook me up with one, right?
Of course, I'll hook you up with one. But yeah,
these motherfucker. I hooked him up with a good comment on YouTube because he was sitting there in our coattails at the Trigger Tech booth. I can't get nothing but what the fuck? What the
Yeah,
okay.
you ended up with the what do you end up with? Something.
Oh my god, dude, he was working it hard. He was working it harder than ever.
Yeah, it was so funny because the guy gave myself and John one. He's like, "How about me? Can I get one of those?" And the guy was like,
"Get one of those?"
Yeah.
No, but in all honesty, Mark was the guy's name, Val. But he was really cool, and he gave Val one. It was awesome. So it was good.
I've already installed it. I'm going to run it on the Bushnell Sniper as well as the Trigger Tech that came in, and then I'm going to go ahead and run the. You missed it last night on the chat, KB, but I did get, and these other guys saw it if they were on the chat last night, but I did get one of the Thunder Beast bipods.
Thing is nice.
I'm going to run a whole new setup, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I forgot all about the Trigger Tech deal
is
with the
2011 a 10 millimeter 19. No,
it's a 2011.
It's a 45 millimeter.
It's a double stack.
It's a double stack 9 using basically the 1911 platform.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you've got the 440 thread hole, the hole already in it, and your magazine release, you're good to go.
You drill and tap.
6.5 Creedmoor bullet pistol rounds. It's pretty cool. You should research it.
Hey Rick, can you put that comment up there that I put up on the private chat?
It won't let me. Let me see if I can put it here though. You talking about for the
Yeah.
The Mantis people were at the Great Outdoor Show this weekend, and I ran from it.
Private chat. Where's the other chat? Comments area. Let's see if it posts. Yeah, it might. There you go.
There it is. So if you go to Etsy, go to X-Ring Customs, and they are on sale there. I usually ship them out same day, and they are $39.
Yep. Any Texas shooters in the chat?
Oh, that's a lot of money.
Oh,
But I will tell you this: train with it because it's like any other mag release button. Just train with it. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, because if you're not used to it and you put a large or an oversized mag release on there, you can inadvertently hit it if you haven't trained with it. So that's anything.
And yeah,
for a
my
piece of
first thing
titanium. Okay, so for a piece of titanium that's machined on a Citizen Swift lathe, find another magazine release for $39. The aluminum cheap ones are $50.
damn it, if I had that thing laying around here, I would show you. But it
That is
is
cool.
awesome.
Val keeps sending me sleepy puppies.
Disturbed Maynard. Yes, I installed my own. Damn it.
All right. Hey, there's Big Johnson right there.
Big Jason in the house. Hello.
How you doing, Big Johnson?
Big Johnson coming at you. Today we're going to be talking about, I've got a holster. And that holster comes from a guy named Harry's Holster. Harris is my Grady. Carrying it to 640.
Okay,
And
this is not a pistol, it's a dirty rag. But there's one installed on an empty grip.
Nice.
all right. Show the rest of the gun.
You can't.
Is that the
It's a live
Akai?
chat. It's a live chat,
Huh?
yeah.
It's
Live
airsoft.
chat. Arms
Oh,
anyway.
yeah. Well, that's an Akai. And that's the one where I literally just kicked X-Ring's ass on his plate rack, his home plate rack. I just kicked his ass. It was unreal. Totally unbelievable.
John, wake up.
But
Wake
I
up.
will tell you.
You're sleeping.
I know. What? He let me do it? Is it crazy? Yes, I
No,
think
I
it
would
is.
not. I would never let you do that.
You know what though? You were rusty, and it came back. So kiss my ass. You're good to go.
There's a
John,
Texas
you've been
boy.
drinking.
Got a couple Texas boys in here. Got Chess, Big Johnson, and Joaquin.
Yeah, I would say.
Oh, I
These
said
are,
rematch. Steel 69. Punisher 69 says.
Hey, Bald and Curious, don't even worry about it reviewing the Infinity, man. It's past. They're done. They take too long to build a gun. You got Atlas out there who's doing great.
You can't rush perfection, brother.
We cannot rush for real perfection.
Whatever.
Yeah, I like
What about the Akai, though? Shay Akai makes a sweet pistol.
Okay, now the Akai's a badass gun. I saw that thing in action one time. It was like
Are you shooting? You're not shooting that in that match. That thing's too heavy for that.
Because it's a ruck match and we're doing 30 miles, I am not going to. Ray, I ordered something you recommended. You must have bought Big Johnson must have got some Sandstock gear bags.
Did he get some Sandstock gear bags?
If I had to guess.
You got a couple suppressors on order.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I saw his video where he said he did a thing, and I saw the suppressor rack. So he probably did get him a suppressor. I wonder which one he got.
I ordered the Thunder Beast 22 takedown today.
Nice.
I'll have to wait a while, but
I'm just waiting for the Microtech to come public. So
to come public,
relax,
slow it down, buddy.
chill out, man.
What do you got in that coffee cup of yours?
It's okay, man. Just relax. As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to go to bed because it's 10:30. I got to leave. I got to go to bed. You guys are awesome, and I just want to say thank you to everybody who's joined us. You guys are all awesome as well. I'm in the company of some really great people. A hero who has the sign of the flag behind him.
Wait. I've got one too.
Whoa.
Nobody knows I have that.
I've never seen that before.
I don't show that to anyone.
All right, so anyway, I got a flag right here. I carry a 24-foot flag in the back of my car.
Yeah.
I'd like to also thank this awesome dude right here. I'm circling my mouse. Nobody can see him. He's He's a very unique guy. Invited me up to his house to shoot some full auto stuff. I really appreciate it. You are a scholar and you're a gentleman and a dear friend.
Likewise,
and
John.
The fire marshal Bill up here, dude, you're freaking awesome. But in all honesty, I got to end it tonight, man. I got to be up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, but Richard. Well, nah, Richard, I haven't had to stop at Rural King yet. But anyway, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for everybody who has joined from the little announcement video. And I hope you enjoyed these guys right here when I'm gone. But dudes, the real job is kicking my ass, and I gotta do what I gotta do. You guys are awesome. Enjoy.
Likewise, John. You have a good night. Thanks for joining.
Have a good night.
Be good.
All right, see you.
Bye.
Bye. And then there was 2.
And then there were none.
Oh. Well, actually, we should get a lot more people showing now that Coda Boy's gone, so it should be good.
Yeah, no. KB's good.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. You got a lot of work to do before 2 weeks from now.
Oh man, yeah. Not even wanting to talk about that.
You better figure it out.
My wife's pillow and farted. That's suppressor worthy. That's funny, right there.
Suppressor worthy. Got Tennessee in the house, neighbor down the street.
By the way, who is KB32? I don't think that's a serious question, but if it is, you can answer it.
Where I don't even see it. Oh, there's Bryson. Get his booty in here. Mr. Bryson, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Your partner's slacking. He hasn't got all his stuff already.
Hey, were you watching? I got it all set up. That's how I'm going to run it.
And that's what I was doing.
Is it the same belt?
No, different belt. This is just HSGI.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the other belt, I am a little too small for at this point. So.
Oh, that's what happens when you lose a bunch of weight getting ready for this.
Yeah, your gear doesn't fit anymore.
Yeah, Doug B. KB32 has a channel. It's a large channel, and
32 Tactical.
Yeah, it's KB32 Tactical. He does a lot of really good reviews on pretty much everything, and he's a good friend to both myself and Rick. Great guy. Can't say enough good stuff about him.
Yep.
He says which channel? It's
lots of good reviews. He builds a lot of ARs every day.
Yeah.
Kinky Boy 32 was the call.
Kinky Boy 32.
Actually, that he got that name from his dog. His dog's name was Coda Boy.
Yep.
That's how he ended up with the name. And then when he started, his channel got pretty big, and then he didn't want to change it because he did add tactical at the end, but he calls it a, what does he call it? A stripper or something.
Oh, look, he says, Doug B, I'm an asshole. He's still on. He's commenting. Richard says, I always 6C, he's in Boone. Got some North Carolinians in here. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in Western North Carolina, so not too far.
Thoughts on a budget AR-15? These guys don't do much budget stuff.
Well, don't say that. I do have some budget stuff. I think, it depends on how budget you're talking. I think if you want to go as cheap as you can possibly go, you can probably buy some of the parts, pieces, and components from somebody like Palmetto and get in it for what, mid to upper threes for an entry level. But then the other ones you've got that are entry level would be like your MMP 15s, your Ruger 5.56, and then also there's another one. You got Diamondback, you got some of the other ones, but I'm a little partial, believe it or not, to the Ruger 5.56. I think it's for a $500 ish rifle, it's a good setup.
Yeah, good reliable setup. Yeah, some of the I think you can get complete kit minus lower for like $300.
Yeah, great time to be looking for an AR.
Yeah, for sure. There's tons of them out there.
Yeah. So Bryson, you've got your MPA. You're shooting at 6.5 Creedmoor.
Yes.
You've got a Leupold Mark IV scope.
Yep.
You have the LRA digital level.
Yep.
Data card?
No, don't have a data card set up yet, other than my arm.
Yeah. Does everybody on the channel know what an LRA digital level is? If not, I tell you what, I'll grab one because I'm sure there's a lot of guys that don't know what it is.
I will say it changes your long range game no matter what gun you're putting it on, and you need one if you plan on shooting past 600 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a game changer. That was my only struggle getting into long range, and Ray can attest to this. When I was shooting, my gun was always canned, and that's because a lot of the levels in guns are not always perfect.
Yep.
My gun included, so the LRA just kind of points that out and makes it easy for you.
Okay, so I was shooting with some high-speed guys a couple of years ago when this was still in its prototype stage, and they were some D-boys, guys that know what that is, and it looks like this. It has batteries inside, and the batteries that it uses are like the M-style batteries, but they last forever. Okay, so when you're shooting precision rifle and you get a long ways out, let's say 1,000 yards, 1 degree of cant in your rifle, which you're probably not going to be able to detect, 1 degree of cant is going to move your bullet impact 5 to 6 inches or so. Okay, 1 degree.
Wow.
So it is important to have some type of level, and a lot of guys will run a bubble level on their rifle. So forget everything else. Let's just talk about this bubble level. So this bubble level, the spirit level, will help keep everything flat or keep everything in line. But there's a lot of times we're in these really awkward positions, whether you're in a vehicle, you're on a rooftop or something like that, and what might feel straight to you might be 2 to 3 degrees off, maybe even more than that, and you think you're straight, because sometimes I've been fooled. The problem with a spirit level is a lot of them will put them on the chassis right here, like the MPA, you can get one built in, McCree's Precision, all of those. Well, if you're looking through your optic, now I have to look straight down and try to get that level, and then I'm looking back up. Or if you mount it out here, I'm having to actually take my vision and look from in the scope and refocus over here and then get back in it. And the LRA, I'm going to go ahead and turn it on so you guys can see it. And this will mount straight on top of your Picatinny. You don't have to look at this, okay? Because what's going to happen is your eye will pick it up. Now, I don't have the best resolution on this camera, but what you're going to see is you'll see 2 blue, 1 blue, green means I'm dead level. And I can adjust the sensitivity. I've got this one on the most sensitive. It's within 0.2 of a degree. Now I'm starting to go orange and then red. So I don't have to change my focus because this is bright enough for you to actually pick up in your eye without ever having to look at it. The beauty of this is it also works this way. So even if I mount it vertically on the rifle, it will still take into consideration. You see that, guys? Exactly where level. Okay, there it is. Boom. Take the shot.
Boom.
Yeah. So as long as I'm pretty close, that's where it's at. Now, these are not Hardy Boys behind the fence. How about the Red Roof Inn? That's what I'm talking about with D-Boys. This is about 200 and this model is like 260, 240, depending on who you know. And then they make a model now without the backup spirit. Don't you have that one, Bryson?
No, I have the more expensive model.
Okay, what is that new one that doesn't have the spirit in it?
I think it's like 160.
Okay, so I know that's a lot for a level, guys, but like I said, this is a game changer for keeping everything good to go. I've never had one go down. I've got about 8 of these, and you can switch them from rifle to rifle with this quick turn, or it comes with a thread So you can actually use an Allen key. So you're not.
Now, how do you set it to level? Like
It
when it
comes-
comes to level, you like hit reset or something?
You can recalibrate it if you need to, but it comes calibrated from the factory.
Oh, okay.
You can also adjust brightness on this as well. You see how I'm turning it down?
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to turn it off. When I first turn it on, it's going to show 4. That's showing them my battery level. 5 would be a full fresh battery. So I've got plenty of battery left in that. That's
Oh,
the check.
that's cool. Okay.
And that's how that works. And the company is Long Range Arms, LRA.
LRA.
He said, "I'll give me $120 for it." Now, I have to pass on that, but I appreciate the offer, Hitting Steel.
I think one of those would look good on my 6.5.
Somebody says 458 lot. Never used one.
Nor have I.
I will tell you that I have some 450 SMC coming, which is going to be that 45 round that's super hot, and I will be shooting it out of the CMMG Banshee. I'm actually waiting on the weights that go into the back of the bolt carrier group, but you can see velocities of the 45 SMC of about, I think, 1,700 feet per second out of that Banshee. That'd be pretty cool, won't it, Rick?
Ooh. That'll be cool.
Jackson says, "Great, more stuff I don't need." You know, I won't shoot a competition without this. This is how reliable. I think this really, really increases your hit ratio without having to focus a lot or change your vision. You don't have to even focus on it.
As someone who doesn't have nearly as much experience as Ray, I have tried that, and I went from not using one to using one, and I have probably 80% more impacts just because of the fact that it's so much easier to use. There's no, you're looking at a bubble level and you're going off of your judgment of, hey, I think this is right, this is really close, or it's not really close. There's no way to know, and especially going to shoot on the clock or under pressure of Ray behind you saying go. It's nice and easy to just look through your scope and see that green light in your vision.
Yeah.
Rather than having to look anywhere else.
And Jackson's got a good point. He only has a 300-yard range, and I get it. Yes, does it make a difference at 300 yards? Yeah, if you're trying to print your tightest group at 300 yards, this will make a difference. It will. However, it's hard to justify something like this if you're only shooting out to 300. This is going to be really important, especially when you're shooting into that 12, 13, 1400 1-mile range. It's extremely important. All right, we'll see you, Insight. Have a good one. So yeah, so another interesting thing. Is it a gadget? I don't think so. It will make you a more precise shooter, just being able to take one of those errors out of it.
And for gun parts, that really isn't that much, $100 and something bucks.
No, it is very expensive. $240, I think. It's very expensive, and I will say that. But this is all machined aluminum. This is not plastic. The only thing that's plastic on here is this thumb wheel, but like I said, I don't normally run the thumb wheel, but I was taking this off between some different rifles, and then I'll put the cap screw in here with the Allen. It is Long Range Arms, LRA, and it's Mile High Shooting out of Colorado. They carry them. They're a stocking dealer for them, and I think there's another one, Something Precision, that's a stocking dealer. This makes a world of difference. And I'm not sponsored by them. I buy every one of those. I do get a little bit of a break, but it isn't much. It's still $200+.
Yep. Well, you figure if you're going to shoot competition, you're going to spend $500 and plus all the other stuff. It's like, that's what I'm saying. It's really not that much in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, to make it that much easier, it's something that you kind of have to buy once, cry once, and not worried about it again.
Yeah, and seeing those guys, I don't know if you guys know this, Bryson is an extremely, extremely competent shooter, a good competition shooter, sponsored shooter, and he is only 18.
Yeah.
Right? So for somebody that's 18, this will be his first long-range match or team sniper match. And for me to tell him, hey, you need one of these, spend $240, that was a little hard to bite off. I mean, it really was. But once he got it, he understands the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those things kind of X-raying gets me on these little tangents of, hey, you need to get this. And I'm like, man, I don't know about that. Then I'm getting it and playing with
Well, I don't push you to it, but if you're going to be my partner in the match, I was like, you need one of these.
Right.
I don't care what kind of bipod you run. You got a bipod. I don't care if it's the least expensive, Caldwell or Harris. Now, you don't have that because you're sponsored by Warren, and that's a good bipod. But this is something that's almost a must-have to do this type of match and do well.
Yeah. There's a couple things that are wants, and there's other things that are needs where you need to have that.
Yeah. Joaquin asks if the Diamond Trigger, if I've installed it yet. I have not. I was going to do it tonight. And my wife came home. She's like, hey, let's go get some dinner. I was like, okay, no problem. And so that got put on the back burner. And then about that time when I came back, Rick was like, we're going to do a chat. I said, again? And he goes, yeah. I said, well, I'm not doing anything. Let's go ahead and do it.
Hey, man, we're having fun. Who cares?
That's right. That's right. X-Ring made me do it. I hear that a lot.
Yeah, if you hang out with X-Ring, you better bring a big checkbook.
Hey, go easy.
No, I don't agree with that because there's no way you're getting this to be a big checkbook, okay? There's no way.
Yeah, but you do have an MPA rifle, guys, that he won.
He won, yeah.
And so he did have to buy this, and then he got a good deal on his optics. So it's good. You've got good equipment.
Look at this love. Look at that. Hidden Steel from California says these nightly chats are awesome. I'm in North Carolina getting flooded out. Why do you think I've been basically been doing chats all the time? Because everything's flooded out. We're up in, actually, Ray and we're all in WNC area.
Yeah, I was going to blow off work today, and it just rained so much. I told Rick, I was like, I'm going to stay at work, get stuff done. Because if I would have taken off, we wouldn't have gotten much shooting done. It was so bad.
I don't know. I would have shot in the rain.
Really? Well, you would have.
Yeah. Pop's Quest, I sent him a link.
Yeah, no, he said
today. Yep. I'm sure he was awake.
Rob, looking
I
good.
sent him a link like an hour ago.
Man, he's been killing it.
What's the name? Oh, yeah. I was supposed to ask you this next time I see you, but I haven't seen you. Who makes that?
Going back to bed.
Well, unfortunately, I don't remember,
Rob.
and there's not a single tab on this, on who the manufacturer was, and I love it. But yeah, I'm sorry I can't answer that. I remember you asked that the other day.
What would you call it? Not just a Ear Pro head cover thing or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to look it up, Bobby.
Yeah, headband cover.
I think Caldwell makes them.
Does Caldwell make them? I think there's quite a few companies that make them.
Yeah, there's quite a few, because I know you can put Velcro tabs on them with your name and everything else, and I see a lot of those.
Yeah.
And it is tabs underneath.
Yeah, that is a must. The gel ear covers are a must. If you're going to wear them more than 3 hours a day. There's kind of more of a story behind that.
Yeah.
Gosh, different sponsors. It's kind of being in the industry and putting your name out there. Ray is kind of familiar. When I go to a lot of major matches, I wear a jersey, or used to wear a jersey. I talk to people, kind of make connections. So when there's at Pro-Am, there's a big group of people there, and I'm going around saying hi to a bunch of people I know, as well as people that I don't know, making contacts with companies, just meeting and talking with them, being an ambassador for the sport, trying to represent everybody well. Don't be one of those guys who's out there, being crazy, doing stupid stuff. just being smart about everything in the shooting community, and kind of representing yourself well. And the companies will usually end up coming to you asking if you can kind of promote their product or, show it off if you like it. If not, just send it back. But that's kind of how you get into sponsors. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work on social media. It's a lot of work in person. It's a lot of time and effort into giving these companies something that, their investment was worth it. So last year I shot for Cobalt Kinetics, getting sent firearms and stuff from them. You kind of have to give them a return on their investment for sponsoring you, or else it's not really beneficial to either party. They don't support you as much and you don't support them as much. So you kind of want to take care of your sponsors, whether they're providing you with gear, money, firearms, whatever it is. It's a trade-off and it's a job. It's a part-time job for every sponsor you have. So it's not just kind of handouts like most people think. It's a lot of time and effort into giving them that money back via marketing and revenue through people.
Yeah. Between all the hours of pictures and Instagrams and
this is a really good topic, and I don't think we've ever talked about it on the channel.
No.
I was sponsored years and years ago by, I've got jerseys, you name them, from different companies, just going years and years back. And it was really cool in the beginning because you didn't see many jerseys. It was really for guys that were getting true sponsorships. They weren't paying for anything. I wasn't paying for anything. I was actually getting compensated on hotels, my travel expense, flights, everything like that. Paired up with some really, really good companies. But 3-Gun when it started hitting its heyday, everybody, I'm going to use Rick as an example. Let's say Rick is a privateer. He has never been sponsored by anyone, and let's just say he's an 80% shooter. If there's 100 shooters, he's going to finish 80th or worse, okay? These guys were showing up with jerseys with every single thing on it. You think the guy shot for H&K. Well, it turns out all he's doing is just getting a jersey company to throw all of his favorite logos on there, and they're not in any way sponsored or associated or affiliated with these companies. And look, it's not that anybody's any better, but the problem is then you would go out there and you would just see these sea of jerseys. So it's like, that guy sucks, and it's like, wait a minute, he's got freaking Schmidt and Bender, and are you with them? No, I'm not. I just like their stuff. So I'm serious. Bryson's shaking his head. He knows exactly what I'm talking about.
It's funny because it used to be just for people who are professionals in the sport.
Yes.
You're a professional. You're getting sponsored because you're putting in the time and effort.
Yes.
Just like, I know you did, and I know I've done that, where you got to put the time and effort in for the companies because you're shooting for them.
Yes.
So, you go to a match. So, for example, and I'm not trying to throw numbers, but I went to Fort Benning Multi-Gun. My match spot was paid for. My hotel was chipped in for. That kind of stuff, that's being on a professional level and shooting for that company versus people going to the match, throwing on a jersey and acting like they're somebody when in reality, and I'm not trying to say you need to have a big name to wear a jersey, but you need to have something to back it up rather than, hey, I wear a cool jersey because I want to be like everybody else.
Somebody commented, AA does not sponsor you with alcohol. That's funny. So I actually, so I got picked up by Cobalt last year with Bryson. Bryson was already shooting for him. I actually had a really good year last year. It was, I hate to say this because we're on a public forum, but it was probably the worst sponsor year ever for me being attached to them because I had some issues. They no longer sell rifles. I think this is public information now. What's that?
It is public.
So, yeah, the Cobalt Kinetics is still in business, but I think they've been bought out or partnered with someone else. And so even me getting parts on a rifle that a piece had fallen off, I actually loaned the rifle because that's part of it. If you are a sponsored shooter, it is to promote the brand and allow people to shoot it, and you don't care. That's why they give you rifles. Well, it took, 6 months? How long was it, Bryson?
Yep.
Yep.
It
About
was 6 months for you to get
and that rifle was down. So yeah, I mean that was one of those things that was a for me. But for the last 2 years, I shoot in a t-shirt, and that's it. I still try to do my part and promote on social media. Always have to give thanks to all your sponsors and all of that. But for the most part, guys are not getting paid. There were 2 years where I was actually getting paid very, very well to shoot, but those guys are few and far between. You've got to have that right sponsor that's literally picking up everything and actually paying you a fee. I'm not going to go into, but there's a lot of guys that leave these because of how much they have to be on social media. And I'm one of those that get on social media and I have YouTube, but I'm not one of these guys that lives on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah, and see, that's where I kind of took the route with my sponsors of going and living on Instagram and posting on there, keeping up with people, answering questions. And that's a huge part of sponsorship, is putting that time in. And so many people don't consider any of that. You don't see, the emails that you get from people, throughout the day saying, hey, let me ask you about this product. Let me ask you about that product. That's all stuff that people don't see behind the scenes. And they think, oh, he just wears a cool jersey and gets free stuff. It is not that way at all. And honestly, there's so many more issues with being sponsored by a company. And I just told Rick this a few days ago, is it's kind of nice not having a bunch of sponsors. Now, granted, I was thankful for the sponsors that I had and all the support that they gave me, but it's nice not having to be connected and sucked into one brand, because you can branch out and, hey, I like this rifle, but I want to put an LRA Send It on it because I'm allowed to do that. I don't have to stick, just a regular bubble level or this or that. I can run what gear that I want to run and enjoy it. You also don't have that same level of social media presence, so I can kind of lax on that. Yeah, I'm going to thank the companies that have always, supported me or helped me out, and the ones that continue to do so. But anybody else is kind of just, yep, this is great. Shout out to them for making a great product, but I don't have to back them, professionally.
Yeah, you can do it.
How long I've been doing it. I actually have a jersey, and no one's going to believe this. I actually have a jersey with a McDonald's logo on it. And you guys know in this day and age, that is impossible to get. To get something like that, to get somebody like that to actually sponsor you, and people are like, holy crap, you got McDonald's on there? It's like, dude, whoever pays the bills, right? And that's a good one to have paying bills. That actually caused some stink for a little while, but
and you get free burgers, right?
We had all the food and coffee that we would ever want anytime. And I don't drink coffee, so it's like we would literally get those big things that are like gallons of coffee. We'd get 6 or 7 of those. And they're like, here, pass them out. And everybody'd come up to the truck and drink coffee.
Answer the question.
Savage 110BA. Yes, I've shot one, and the one that I shot was a freaking tack driver. It was a great rifle, but it was heavy as a boat anchor. That was the only thing that I remember about that. It had a pretty decent trigger. I have nothing bad to say about the rifle. I just remember it being a lot heavier than I preferred. That's it. That question's been asked like 2 or 3 times.
How about this one about sponsorship for the NSSF Youth Action?
Yeah, the national shooting, I don't know how difficult it would be to get a sponsor. I guess you would just have to contact them.
Yeah, I don't know, but I do know that shooting right now and sponsorships are kind of few and far between, because the market is the way it is right now. Everything is cheap. It's kind of, you get a sponsorship and your chances are most people are getting discounts. So,
hey, Bryson, read that comment by Daniel. God is my judge. Put it up there.
I already read it.
I've never been DQ'd, but I know somebody else has.
I most certainly was, but you know what? I was about as gracious as a train wreck, and I'll leave it at that.
And we actually went to Dairy Queen, and I got a
team train wreck. Yes, you did. I even saw the video on that. But I'm not saying I'll never DQ, so maybe I'll get some ice cream too one day.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do this to make you proud. We're going to leave it at that.
There you go.
Nice. The
DQ.
good community out there. So LZ USA says CMMG would be a good sponsor. Yes, they would. They're actually sponsoring all the Yackleys right now. All of them are sponsored by CMMG. Good people. I met with them at SHOT Show. I'm going to be doing some stuff with CMMG. No sponsorship with them, but I'm doing some other stuff with them. But I'm actually working with another company right now, and I might be signing on with them this year. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, they make great stuff. Actually, we shot that Banshee the other day.
Yeah. I mean, they do make a good quality firearm. I think they're working on a 6.5 Creedmoor for me is what they're doing. I think it's going to be a 300 series, so it'll be a good one.
Gas gun?
Yeah, gas gun.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not aware of them doing any type of bolt gun. They're not.
I haven't seen it. That's what I was asking.
Not anything long distance related, but they do make some nice 6.5s.
Nice.
What are your thoughts on Q Company? Kevin Briggingham. Kevin Briggingham, I know him. I've met him. He started a AAC and sold it to Remington, made a fortune. He does a lot with suppressors. I think he's got a rifle now. I've met him quite a few times. I know that he posts testable. That's why you can't find it. So independent testing has to be done with that. Thoughts on the Q Company? I'm gonna leave my thoughts out of that because there's been a lot of questions raised. I like the rifle, and I like some of his ideas with the suppressors. And he's a genius. The guy is a genius. But I'm not gonna get into because all this stuff kind of goes full circle with the people that I'm involved with. I'll just say I know him and nothing bad to say.
Hidden Steel says he heard the new Savage MDT is supposed to be awesome. We shall find out.
We'll see.
I still want to do that comparison: the Tikka, the Ruger, and the which one Sam got? The Remington.
He's got the PCR, and there was a guy that commented on my channel when we did that video that said he bought a PCR and then bought your Tikka. And the PCR outshoots his Tikka every day of the week, and said he just loves the PCR. So it's one of those. Yeah, I mean, it just depends on what you're looking for.
What is the best
weight in a rifle that y'all would shoot in a competition? That it's going to be hard to answer that question, TB. And you always come up with some really good questions. It depends.
Weighs 10 pounds.
Well, if you're shooting PRS, there are certain divisions where you're limited on the weight of your rifle. If you're shooting, let's say, high power rifle, there's a maximum weight for it, or depending on the division you're in PRS. So it's a tough question to answer because it depends on what you're doing. Now, someone commented earlier, the Savage was heavy and they shoot off their belly, and so it's more stable. Yeah, absolutely. But remember, Bryson has got to carry that big old MPA for 30 miles in 2 weeks, and that's a 20-pound rifle. My AI weighs in at 21.5 pounds, and that is no fun to lug those around all day long. What do you think about Faxon barrels and 6.5 Creedmoor? 20-inch too short or not long enough? Faxon makes a decent barrel. I've been to Faxon's facility. I've met both owners, the brothers, as well as their head engineers. Faxon makes a good barrel for the money. They actually provided barrels for Cobalt Kinetics as well. Yep. But they don't have a claim to fame to doing matched barrels. I don't think they even make one that is a true match barrel, but they make a decent barrel for the money. 20-inch is not something that I prefer in 6.5 Creedmoor. It's okay, and it'll stabilize the round, but if you're going to do a lot of long-range shooting, I would recommend 24 inches for the 6.5.
Yeah, I believe my masterpiece is a 24.
Yep. Yeah, the 6-hour bolt gun that's coming out, mil-spec grunt, that thing's supposed to be bad anus.
Bad arse.
Yeah.
Here's a question for everybody.
I shoot left-handed. Should I stick with the left-handed bolt gun? I have a lot of experience here with that question. So you're going to be limited on the manufacturers that you can get. I'm sure you probably own a LH Remington 700. There's a lot of guys that back in the day when we were shooting, believe this or not, a lot of right-handed shooters would shoot left-handed so we could work the action better. There were a lot of military snipers doing that. Believe it or not, there were guys doing that because you never had to lose your grip here and you could just work it with the left hand. One of my sniper partners years ago was a left-handed shooter and trained himself to shoot left hand, work the bolt with the right. You got that going for you. You could actually work the bolt faster because of your hand position. He ended up going and switching to a true left-handed action and ended up saying he wasn't going to do that and then went back to the right. So that's something you got to play around with. Do whatever works best for you. That's my answer to that.
I hear you. Yeah, Hidden Steel's looking for a new barrel for his RPR.
Look at the Krieger.
Good money.
I think Krieger is doing a drop-in for the RPR now. If I'm not mistaken, Todd Elfster with Elfster's Reloading, he actually had a Krieger put in his, and he put down some impressive groups of 500 with it. I don't know anything about pricing or anything else.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on for a 6.5 Creedmoor going a carbon fiber wrap barrel?
Oh, the Proof?
Yeah, Proof or there's one other one out there too that I know.
Christensen Arms does a carbon wrap barrel. Okay, so I've got both of those, and they shoot well. I'm going to be shooting a Proof carbon wrap barrel with Bryson in the match that we're shooting in 2 weeks. I like Proof a lot. I'm not going to say anything bad about them, but if you're one of those guys that has a sustained high rate of fire, and I see that too often in guys that are getting in the long range, they'll go out there, they'll load a magazine of 10, and they're just cranking them off. I'm like, dude, this is not an AR. Well, it is an AR, but this is precision shooting. Somebody commented earlier in this chat, 1 round a minute. And believe it or not, that's a good rule to live by. But on some of these stages, you don't have that luxury. You have to fire 10 rounds in 30 seconds or whatever. And you're just working the crap out of the bolt. So with that being said, I don't have a lot of confidence in the Proof or carbon wrapped barrels, rather, if you're that type of shooter that's getting a lot of heat in your barrel. Because you can get a lot of heat in your barrel with a steel barrel. Isn't that right? You know, he's got a temperature gauge on his. MPA actually puts a temperature gauge on the side, or it looks like one of those little fish tank temperature gauges, and it is amazing how fast it builds up temp.
Yeah, it's kind of going from 3-gun and shooting really fast and not having to slow down to this. It's way different. Like, you really, really have to slow down.
Where's it at exactly? Right at the breech location?
It's a little bit past it, so you're probably in your first 8 inches of lands and grooves.
Yeah. Okay, so Eric, okay, I agree with you 100%. Okay, I was shooting 16-inch 308 back, and everybody said I was making hits at 1,000 yards with these because of barrel harmonics, pipe shorter, and I agree with you 100%. However, the game here in long-range shooting is keeping the velocity up as well, and that's something you're not going to be able to make up with that short barrel. So I'm not saying that a short barrel can't be accurate. It can have the capability of shooting tight groups, but where you're going to start losing the game is if we start shooting targets at 1,000 yards and you're already going transonic at 700 because of the velocity you're losing because of that length of barrel. That's my take on it. But great comment there.
Which I was going to throw this at you too, Ray. That little 13.5-inch Cobalt was actually not a Faxon barrel either. So that was somebody different. So it's kind of ironic. We were talking about quality of barrels.
Yeah.
That's a completely different manufacturer, and it was lithium iron bonded or something.
Ion bond is basically what it is. It's a PVD coating or DLC. Hitting Steel hit it. It says, I like more muzzle velocity. Muzzle velocity is king. Guys, this is why you're seeing so many people going to the 6 Dasher, 6 GTs, 6 Creedmoors is because you're getting that velocity. And so you're not getting the drop. You're not getting you can watch that bullet and watch the trace as it's going in, but you're having to replace barrels every 1,000 rounds, so I'm not that guy. But yeah, muzzle velocity is kind of king. It really is.
That is cool.
It's funny shooting against Jeremy having a little short 16-inch 308.
Yeah. No, he's got that's an 18. Danny Young. Let's see,
Okay.
you got it. Danny. Yeah, that's an 18-inch, and he told you he got his butt handed to him out west.
Yeah, so shooting something like that versus the 6.5 and shooting side by side, it's kind of funny because we can shoot at the same time. And, I'm already sitting there like, man, that was a nice impact. And he's like, I'm waiting for my bullet to get there. It's one of those things.
The first thing Jeremy said to me when he got back is, I'm buying a 6.5.
Yep.
And I'm getting a 24-inch barrel.
Yeah, I heard him say that when I talked to him too.
He said most of the guys that were shooting 6 Creedmoor.
Yep. He said a few of them were shooting 6 Dasher, which a lot of guys are getting on that trend of those kind of weird oddball cartridges, but I don't know that I like it because you're replacing that barrel really quick.
Yeah. And the other thing is you also it is getting better. And I'll answer that question in just a minute. It is getting better, but I'm that type of guy because we have to put so many rounds down range in a year. I don't have time to be getting into fire forming and everything else. It wasn't that long ago you couldn't get box 6mm Creedmoor that easily, or at least the way that Hornady's doing it. But right now, if you want 6 comp match or 6.5 comp match or Dasher or any of those other ones, unless there's a company that's making that brass for you, you're going to go through that whole process. And then when you're done with your stage, you're going to tell everybody, I've got to find my brass because it's $2 a piece, because they're shooting.
Yeah.
Whatever. And I don't want to be that guy. How many years have I been shooting 3-gun? Pretty much since it was invented here on the East Coast. How's that? A long time.
Hitting Steel saving his barrel in a 6.5 by shooting his 308.
Yeah. A 308, you can get 5,000-6,000 rounds pretty easily out of it. Whereas a 6.5 Creedmoor, you're going to see your group start opening up at about 2,500 to 3,000, depending on how much you're pushing it. This was a conversation that we came up with yesterday about pushing 42.2 grains out of that 6.5 Creedmoor. You'll be lucky to get 2,000 rounds. You're pushing it that hot.
Yeah. I started my book today. I'm still waiting on that freaking one book I ordered. Taking forever for that.
Tactical Tailor.
Yeah, Tactical Tailor. So I built me a little fake one here, just for round counts and keeping track. I called you earlier. At VOD, there's a 700, 650s on the left.
Yep.
Is there 6, the 550, and the 5s on the right?
Yeah.
Now, if you're looking at, I don't know if this is mirroring or whatever, 500 is far left where the tires are.
500
is far right. 600 is right behind it. And then 650's on the left and 700's on the left.
And there's still a 3 on the left, right? Or besides the last time we blasted it off there. Right? 3, 5 on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Side chat. Who started shooting 3-gun at 9 years old? When I was 9, there was no such thing as 3-gun.
True. When he was 9 years old, it was flint and steel, baby.
Hey, you're the same age I am, buddy.
I was talking about Daniel.
No.
Calm down, old folks.
That's right. Slow it down.
Would adding an 8-inch suppressor to that 20-inch barrel Faxon help with its accuracy? DW, great question. This actually came up last night about suppressors and accuracy. Okay, so you'll get a little boost in velocity, but depending on the suppressor, you might or might not get better accuracy. I have seen it make some rifles shoot horribly. Mike Willis, case in point. You know, he no longer runs that suppressor that he bought. And I tried to talk him out. I was like, dude, why did you buy that? And it wasn't a cheap suppressor, but it was not a well-known company. And when he throws it on his, what does those MPAs run? About 3,500?
Yeah.
When he throws it on his $3,500 MPA, it turns his sub-minute of angle gun into about a minute and a quarter, minute and a half. And so I can't say across the board it's going to help your group.
The MPAs are solid rifles too. There's nothing to take away from that.
Yes. How low can you go on the 6.5 loading, stay accurate, increase barrel life to the tune of 308 loadings? You know, I can't answer that, Doug, because I don't know how low is too low. Or that's something you'll just have to play around with and look at that muzzle velocity and see. And if it's in the gas gun, see how low you can go to cycle it. I will tell you that we have just been loading straight across the board, H4350, because that's the powder we've got, 41 grains. And that's under 147 ELD match Hornady. It's not crazy hot. It's a good solid round, and it seems to be accurate across everyone's platforms.
What's your velocity on that?
I run a lot faster than Rick. Wait till Rick gets back, but I think he's at 27. I think he's at like 27:20 or something like that.
See my,
47-17 in it.
There you go. Look at that. That was close. 3 feet per second.
Yeah,
Quarter
see my
left. You had to go to bed, Nick Knox.
my box ammo is 27:30.
Okay. So yeah, so it's going to be a little slower than factory ELD match, like this stuff back here, but it's a good solid load. And of course, work your own, but 41 grains is safe in everything that we've shot. Okay, what's your opinion on the amateur shooter trying to get into long gun? What will be the best price to start out with a rifle? Honestly, after Sam bought the PCR, and there was a guy that commented on my channel that he bought one for $800, I think that's a great setup. If you want to go a little bit more, look at the Ruger, the precision rifle. You don't have to spend huge money. Then some guys are going to say, well, I've already got a Remington 700 and it's got a decent barrel on it. Guys, there is a huge difference when you're trying to shoot long range. If you're not running a heavy barrel, I mean, my barrels are really heavy, like what they call like an MTU contour, which means it's 1 inch thick at the muzzle. Okay, at the muzzle. These are fat barrels, but they can help with that heat dissipation and not getting stringing all over the place. So can you buy a 6.5 Ruger American with a little pencil barrel and make a hit at 1,000 yards? Oh, absolutely. You can go further than that with it. But you're not going to be able to do that over the course of 10 shots. By the time you get about shot 6, or maybe even less than that, it's really going to start opening up. That's my opinion on it. So that's your rifle question answered. What do you think about these guys shooting 2 miles and such? I think it's cool. But I don't know how practical it is. I know that's a whole little segment of King of the 2 Mile and everything else. But what you need to keep in mind is that's going to be a rifle that's purpose-built for that job, that task. You're not going to be able to run just a standard, 20-minute of angle base or something like that. You're going to have to use a Charlie TACCOM on the end, or actually during SHOT Show, they introduced this new device that goes on the front. It actually clips on the 1913 rail forward of the scope, and it gives you 100 minutes of angle in addition to what you've got in your optic. It doesn't touch the optic. It just sits up there. It's a prism. So you're going to have something like that to get out to those distances. And the reason I'm telling you this is so like even on like a Night Force, like a 7-35, the #1 scope in PRS of last year, it's the same thing that I shoot. In order to shoot beyond 1 mile, I have to not only dial max. Now I'm running a 20-minute of angle base. I have to dial max, and I still have to hold my reticle. So now you're talking about these 2 mile guns. You're going to have a setup. You're really not going to be able to shoot just every day. Okay. So that's my thought on that. Do I break my rifle barrels in? Yes, I do. And I've done a lot of videos on those.
What are you at a mile? Like 21 mils?
I had to reload, Doug. Had to reload, buddy.
No, on a 6.5 Creedmoor at 1,760 yards, which is going to be your mile shot, you're going to be approximately somewhere between 23 to 26 mils. That's all going to vary based on barrel speed, barrel length, because those kind of go hand in hand. And for example, guys, myself, Rick, and Sam were shooting the exact same load, the exact same barrel length, and I am about 80 feet per second faster. Not all barrels are the same. So typically at a mile, I'm going to be right at 24 mils, whereas most people are dialing in 26-ish, 27-ish. Depends on your rifle. Relatively new to 6.5 Creedmoor. Shoot Hornady 140 ELD box ammo, rough on the barrel. No, it's not rough on the barrel. I mean, a 140 is a great round. It's probably that 140 Hornady is probably the number one round for the 6.5 Creedmoor for match. It just is. I just opt to shoot the 147 because when we're shooting at these extreme distances, it does stay into supersonic flight longer than the 140. It's not much, but it's enough. The 153s by Hornady, these A-tips, do a little better. Ray has Firewatch all night. I know I'm talking a lot, but these are great questions.
They are good questions. Orion Fixer, 140 calories per bottle, buddy. Don't tell me to add them all up too, because you won't want to. I don't want to know. Bryson's like, drink water, drink water.
I'm not saying anything. I used to drink sweet tea religiously for years.
Yeah, we've got some good long-range shooters in here because there's some guys asking some good questions. Doug says air attack. There's one. So when you get into this long-range stuff, you're having to get all the specialty stuff. So you get the 70 minute of angle of adjustment, and that's great, but then that's going to limit you on what are you going to do with the rifle if you want to go to the range and just shoot it 100 yards. So like I said, it is a purpose-built rifle, and you're going to be getting into the bigger calibers typically. I mean, you're probably going to be starting at 338, working your way up there into the ShotTac rounds. But you got to remember, I'm on the East Coast. We don't have a lot of places where we can shoot like that or those extreme long distances. The last time we went out furthest we were able to shoot out to was 2,000 yards, and that was out west. Hey, Nick Knox, you're not in the wrong chat. I'm a red dot guy as well. A little bit about me, and this is the guys that know me know I'm not trying to brag about this, but on a red dot, I was actually the Three Gun Nation factory division, which is a red dot national champion in 2018. Tyson remembers because you were shooting that match.
Yeah.
I love a red dot, and I will shoot it out to 500 yards all day long. I swear by it.
I will say this.
It's amazing.
Ray doesn't even have to go there. You can get guys shooting a 1 to 6, a 1 to 8, heck, a 1 to 10. And he'll get up there and shoot long range, be done, and looking at him like, man, you got a scope and you're still shooting? What are you doing?
Well, I mean, I love
what he looks at me at.
I love dots better than anything. It is the fastest way to shoot. It really is. And, now, dealing with KB's put me onto some stuff. I'm not allowed to talk about it because it hasn't been released yet, but I've got a dot.
You can't show that yet.
I can't. But I've got a dot over here. It's just like the Vortex 1 to 10. Guys were playing with those things a year and a half ago. And, they're just releasing them at SHOT Show now. They've been out in the wild.
I don't think it's that great.
Getting all of these red dots that have holes in them, that's changing everything. It really is.
Red dots? Oh, with holes in them, yeah.
Yeah, like prismatic red dots.
Yeah.
No, these are straight red dots, and it's not anything new because Hollow Sun has one. I think it's like don't quote me, but I think it's like a 503C. There's another company here that's getting ready to release one the next month, and it's got the holds all the way out to 500, and it's dead on the money. And it is a true red dot. EOTech has something similar to that, and somebody had mentioned something about SIG coming out with the optic. I'm not going to lie to you. I hate SIG optics. I've seen too many of them go down. I've seen too many of them with issues. Tango scope, parallax knobs breaking off. He had to send it back brand new out of the box. But they talked about that. What is it? It's a something 8, Romeo 8 or something.
Yeah.
It's
Something.
supposed to have all the drops. That thing disappeared off the face of the earth, and that showed up at SHOT Show a year and some change ago, and there's still none to be had. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there.
It's just like the big thing when they had the Tango 6, the 3-gun 1-6 optic.
Nobody ran them.
Yeah, no, because I hate to down a company, but they were just not there.
Exactly. I don't want to down them, but I've just seen a lot of stuff. I was really disappointed when SIG. You remember when they did the MPX rifles, the MCX,
Mm-hmm.
and it was supposed to be, you buy it 5.56, and we're gonna have the 300 blackout barrels, and you can just throw it. Where do they go?
Yeah.
The 320 series, you're supposed to be able to change the frame size. You could never get them. They never seem to follow through. That's my biggest issue with it, with them right now.
And then sneaking in on contracts, but that's a whole different thing.
Oh, you don't even want me to go there. No, there was something that just came up with SOCOM recently. I'll tell you about it once we get done with the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tangent Theta. Doug, yeah, you are a long-range shooter. I have messed around with a lot of the Tangent Theta scopes. I've played around with pretty much every high-end scope you can think of. The Hensholtz, the Tangent Thetas, all the Schmidt and Benders. I've kind of just gone down to being a Night Force guy. If Tangent Theta had more reticle options, I might look into them a little bit more, but I'm not a big fan of all of their reticles. They don't have enough options, in my opinion. But it's all what you get used to. But that's where Tangent Theta is. There you go, Nick. They build guns, not optics, is my take.
Or ammo.
Hey, Val bought a red dot. That thing, and I was like, dude, you messed up. What was it? 2 weeks that thing went down?
Yeah, it died right after he got it.
Now, it's been gone for 4 months because he was complaining about this at SHOT. Did you know he still has not gotten them to replace that yet? He's still waiting on it.
That's
been
ridiculous.
like 4 months. Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
It's just like a lot of guys complain about Vortex, and I'll be one to say that I do have a lot of Vortex optics, and I do have a lot of Vortex red dots. It's kind of weird with them. I like the fact that they have a warranty, but chances are you're going to be using it when you have one of their dots.
I've seen some of their dots go down. Their scopes seem to be really good. Rick owns 2 of the 4.5 to 27 HDs. I ran a 1 to 6 HD, Razor HD, for a few years. Great 3-gun scope.
Yeah.
I like the warranty.
One of the best 3-gun scopes ever made, in my opinion. It really is. With the eyebox, the relief.
The 1 to 6.
But then I told Bryson down there about Swarovski 1 to 6, and they got the 1 to 8s. It's hard to compare those because the price points are so different.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is I ran a Razor for 2 years from Vortex 1 to 6, and I loved it. It was a great optic, but it's really heavy. It's really durable, which is fantastic too. But when I had the opportunity to get the Swaro, the Z6i, the 1 to 6, when you compare the two and you're looking at weight, you're looking at reticle. The reticles can be really similar, especially with the JM1 reticle.
Yep.
But, the Swaro, I forget the name of it now, BRT1 or something.
Yeah, it's BRT reticle, yeah.
That matched up so much better with Defender 69s. It's much lighter weight. It's just, they're very similar yet different in their own way. It's a totally different price point, but if you're really wanting it and you're willing to spend the money for it, it's well worth it.
Yeah. Doug B said 7 to 35 ATAC-R is great too. Yeah, I've got about 5 of those. They all have the Trimmer 3 reticle. I swear by that scope. I also have a lot of the 4 to 16s with the Trimmer 3, and I'll usually run those on, excuse me, like a longer range, like a gas gun or a DMR type setup. I love that setup. The Trimmer 3 is where it's at, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like that.
I'll be back in just a second.
Okay. You know what? Buddy D says SWFA. I have had a chance to play with those scopes, and they are solid and bang for the buck. They're good to go. TB, Ray, do you have a website for the leveler? I don't have a website. I do have a website, but I don't sell anything on it. It was something that I did because somebody wanted me to do that. But you just need to go to Mile High Shooting or go search up Long Range Arms because that's the actual manufacturer, and they might have a list of dealers. Yeah, yep, Jerry. It's not as good as high end, but not $1,000 worse. I don't know. You've seen my CV Life stuff, Pat. It works for what it is. Okay. Just trying to get these questions answered.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, Vortex, good and heavy. They are. I will tell you, they do stand behind their products, though. I was shooting in a match, and they made us do this rollover prone in the sand, and all of our muzzle brakes were maybe a half inch off the sand because we were shooting under this barricade that was about that high, so there was no way you could keep your rifle vertical, and it was intended that way. The problem is if you had a muzzle brake, it sent the blast back, and what it did was it completely obliterated your objective. It literally like somebody took a blasting cap and went to your objective. You couldn't see out of it. If there was any light forward of you, all you saw was just specks all in your objective. I called Vortex. I told them what happened, straight up, no lies, and they were like, "No problem, send it." Within 2 weeks, I had a brand new 4.5 to 27.
Yeah, that's awesome. That was one of the things that sold me on it. I mean, I got them for a good deal, but just the fact that the warranty is, it's like Dylan reloading stuff. No BS warranty kind of deal. Makes it nice. You feel protected when you buy something with, those are investments basically.
Yeah, I kind of look really hard when companies say lifetime warranty. Because in my mind, because of a certain situation that happened and it was a big stain and 3-gun, it's a lifetime warranty for as long as that company stays in business. Okay. With these bigger companies like Vortex, I don't think they're going anywhere. These good companies that have been around a while, great. But there was a company, do you remember it was called Rev Arms, Rick? Because I think you have a barrel.
I have their barrel.
They came onto the scene strong, and they were doing lifetime polygonal rifled AR-15 barrels. They started coming out with all type of accessories, and they literally left with a couple $1 million of people's monies for builds.
Wow.
And they were a huge sponsor for 3-Gun Nation, and everybody that won those certificates, those gift certificates, never got to cash them in. So, yeah, sometimes you have to be wary of lifetime warranty.
Yeah, I can see that. Yes, Dylan reloaders rock.
Nick Knox in Korea. I hear you.
Dang, your neck of the woods.
My mom was from Busan, so Athlon has a great warranty as well.
I have not messed with any Athlon stuff.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I have not. It's unfortunate too, because I hear a lot. I've heard a lot of it recently, especially. Yancey Teal's in the house. Did you get your mail yet, Yancey? Did your package show up?
Yeah, he's primary. That was part of the conversation last night.
What?
I'll see how Doug B reacts to this if he's still on it. Doug B, what do you think about Primary Arms? Honest view. And the reason I'm calling Doug B out is because he's been mentioning things like the tangent theta and everything else, and I want to see where he's at with it. What he thinks about Primary Arms optics. We don't have to just wait. We can talk about something else in a minute.
Yeah, for sure. Is any chance Night Force might release a red dot in the future?
I have not heard of that.
I have not either. Let's see. Lakeview Outdoors. I'm talking about the 400-yard comment. Will we stretch it out very soon, Jerry?
Oh, he's Egu. Okay, nice. 안녕하세요. 나는 한국말 조금 합니다.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
What Ray said.
What was that?
I was talking Korean to him. He's probably military. I don't know. Maybe he's there for work, but
Night.
I think he means Night Force. Read that? I don't know. I haven't heard any rumors of them coming out with a red dot.
I don't think they would because they're so known for their scopes. I just think that would be something that they don't really need to branch out into.
Yeah.
I would say probably as far as long range optics, I would prefer a Night Force over anything else. I mean, I like the Leupold, but some of those little quirks with magnification and all that stuff, that's something to know for future. Hey, that's not something that I want to have to deal with. And I know my Night Force never did that. So,
yeah, I'm sold on Night Force.
Yeah.
I've only had one issue of all the ones I've ever owned, and I still own it. I'm just too lazy to send it back. But it's not big enough of a problem for me to be concerned about it. Okay, so I've got a 4-16 ATAC-R. I know Night Force will stand behind it, but remember when they switched from the pull caps to the Digilume on the side? They have a little button you push on the side, and you can go and change the intensity. Oh, I got a brand spanking new one in the box. I'd had it for about 2 months. I was out in Wyoming shooting a match, and it was a night match. Well, one of the stages was at night. We started at 11 p.m. and it wouldn't turn off. I'm like, well, it's going to suck. I'm going to have a dead battery in the morning. And I just kept hitting the button and it would not turn off. So the way that thing eats batteries, I know it's supposed to do its thing to conserve batteries, but something's wrong with the switch. And so I know that if I have to use it, I'm going to have to switch the battery out. That's why I have
Steel Punisher 69. Appreciate you showing up. Always a good supporter of the channel. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Steel Punishers, thanks for watching my channel as well. I do appreciate it.
All right, Mil-Spec Grunt.
We're staying up past everybody's bedtime.
Yeah, we're going to wrap this up in 15 minutes. So we'll do a 2-hour and call it good.
Yeah, the neighbor guy. If Night Force releases a red dot, the other manufacturers would start sweating. I believe they would.
Yeah.
I'm aim point all the way.
Yeah, they got nice red
I
dots.
really like the Holosun stuff more and more, but
The price is good on those too.
Yeah, they are. They are. And they had a huge booth at SHOT, and there were so many different models.
yeah, one of the sponsors that I am keeping is Kenzie's Optics, and they're a huge supporter of Holosun, and Holosun's always been good to them and good to myself.
Yeah.
They sent me one of their H110Cs, I believe, which
Yeah.
is like a holographic sight for your PCC.
Oh.
That was fantastic.
Joaquin just got my attention. Dang it, man. You're killing me over here.
You know what's funny? Donuts come up every chat.
I know. I love my donuts.
That's hilarious. They know you're kryptonite. Dun,
That
dun,
ain't my
dun. Yeah, Nava's got the donuts.
I forgot to check that.
So the Holosun, they're running a couple different versions with the solar, right? Panel on top.
Oh yeah, they've got tons of different stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, even their pistol dots now, they've got one dot that looks the same, and they've probably got 5 or 6 different renditions of it. They've got a shake awake, they've got just a battery, they've got a battery and solar, which is what I have. So if you run out of solar, you've got the battery, you've got all kinds of stuff.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Oh, that was the one you showed last night.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
I love that little thing.
510C on my AR, and it's great. Yeah, I like it. I like the style of it too.
There was a local agency here that were T&Eing a bunch of the Holosuns. And I was, you know me, I like to tear stuff up. I mean, I take care of my stuff, but if somebody says, here, proof this out.
Yeah.
We gave those things heck. I mean, double hockey sticks heck, all right? All freaking week long. We never had one go down. Now, I wasn't attached to the agency or anything else, but I was there as an instructor. And so it kind of changed my opinion of them because I'd never really heard of them before. And I was like, man, that's a pretty darn durable optic. That agency ended up approving those for officers to purchase on their own. So that was my first experience with Holosun, and I've never seen one go down. And then, of course, Bryson, Yang. He had Yang.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's got a couple on his pistol. I think one just like your dot. You can do circle, or you can do circle and dot.
Yep.
And that's nice, having that option of being able to do multiple things.
Yeah, they have the same thing on the holographic for like a larger rifle optic. And it's really nice because we had some stages at the JP PCC Championship. And that was something where there was a stage where your targets are literally within 2 feet of your muzzle. So having that big ring was nice because you really didn't have to look at anything. And then other stages, you had some small targets at 50 yards away. So it was nice just having that 2 MOA dot, being able to work that way.
Yeah. That was a great question. I don't want to put any untruths out there, so I can't answer that question, Orion. But I can tell you that Primary Arms has a couple of different lines, and I do know that their Platinum line comes out of the exact same roof that the Vortex Razor HD, and I think all the Vortex comes out of the same building.
Yeah.
But I don't know about Holosun, and I can't speak on SIG because I don't know.
Yeah, Big Johnson loves that 507C. He's got 8 of them.
Yeah, that's what's on my gun.
The neighbor guys, he's a truck driving across Texas, so he appreciates the live stream. So thanks for that.
Alabama Arsenal shot a 510C at 10 feet with a 12 gauge, and it kept working. I believe it.
Yeah, that's a tough red dot. With putting up a shotgun recoil.
Bad Billy says he's going to sell his RMR Type 2 off his 10 millimeter and replace it with a 507C. You know, I'm probably going to have to agree with you there. If you guys have watched any of my videos, I've run some of those RMRs, and the window is just too small. And I know they're built like a brick house, but it's just you don't have a lot of viewing area.
I played with a lot of dots before I put one on my open gun. And I played with probably it's like 5 or 6 Trigicons that I played with, and I did not like them. The only one that wasn't bad was the SRO, but because it was so new to the market, I didn't want to play with anything that was brand new. I wanted something that was kind of tried and true. The Leupold has the Delta Point Pro and all that. There's so many different companies with red dots now. It's kind of, you have to try it, use it. If it works, keep it. And it's also on your eye too. So most people can pick up a dot with not having perfect vision and think that it's fine, but having a little bit better vision like myself or someone like Ray, you don't see the same thing. So a lot of dots I'll see kind of, I forget what they call it, but it's like a flare up around the actual dot. And I can't stand that. I'm looking, it's supposed to be a little 2 MOA dot, and I'm actually looking at, the sun coming through this thing.
Yeah.
I like what West Covina Dodge said. He said, Holosun is Chi-Com. I bet all get remote turned off in a shooting war. Oh, we did. That's why I said you got to have backup irons.
Yep.
Backup irons.
Oh, man. Okay, so the SRO, the only negative I heard, and Big J could probably fill in on this, the only negative I've heard was from Rob that said the edges are they're not clear, if you will. They're clear, but there's some distortion or something. That's the only negative I've heard. One of the best red dots that I've used that's still in a compact has been that Seymour RTS.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Now, there were some bad ones initially, but I think all that's worked out. But that's got a good viewfinder, and it's not huge. Yeah. Eric and I think a lot because he's like, I got some awesome iron sights. Battery life is outstanding. I love irons. Red dot versus irons, not for carry gun, but just for range toy. Both?
Yeah.
Pistol, not for a carry gun, but just for a range toy. So he's talking about pistols. He's not talking about rifles. I'll let you guys do that, and I'm going to use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
I don't run a red dot.
I'm a huge dot guy.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
but I do run my fiber optics. I like the green over the red.
You see, I'm just the opposite. I can't run green. Green just doesn't set well with me.
Yeah, I like it because through the dark stuff, the only time it hurts is when you're running a stage where there's a ton of grass.
Yeah, and I've been there so many times throughout the years, and especially one match that we shot was Generation 3 gun. and you're literally in grass fields. It's horrible because if you have green on your gun, I mean, I ran a iron sight gun for 3 years and loved it, and then got the Atlas and thought that was, the bee's knees, and still do. I love Atlas guns, but I don't know. The Dot's just something different. It's so much faster, but I still haven't gotten, I surprised a bunch of people recently. I shot a USPSA match, and I just shot a Glock with irons. And they said, oh, you've shot a Dot for so long now, you can't go back. You can still go back. You just, got to remember the fundamentals and, what you can handle.
Yeah, I've been sticking with the irons. I'm trying not to mess with any guns that have dots because I don't want to like it.
As soon as you use one, you like it and you won't want to go back. That's why I put a dot on the gun for the Bushnell sniper match. Just because I was so used to my open gun with 3-gun, I can find that dot so quickly, and it's just put it on it and squeeze.
I'm reading TV's comment here about taking Ray's donuts. I have a video out there when we were at Iraq Veteran 8888 shoot, and him and Corey, man, those guys were mowing down those donuts so quick. I don't know if you saw that one or not.
Oh, yeah, I saw it. And that's one thing that I think there's a little group of us that I can put some donuts away. And that's like one of my guilty pleasures is if I'm going to cheat on my diet, I'm going to go eat a donut.
Yeah.
Kind of funny. He's taking a different approach to prepping for this match. He is literally intentionally putting on weight so that he can burn it off at the match.
Yeah.
So
he's ready to go.
He's ready, and I'm taking a totally different. I'm trying to pack for the match thinking, man, I can't bring grilled chicken breast with me, so I can bring.
You can bring it. You just got to carry it, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, right now, my equivalence in my diet is approximately 4 chickens a day. So that's not something I'm planning on doing at the match.
I had a good friend that we worked together in California, and he'll run a 24-hour around-the-clock mountain bike race.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll keep bags of chicken, and he'll just freaking.
Yeah, my diet was very much chicken, salmon, which is expensive, so there wasn't a whole lot of it, and steak once a week. And it's just, oh man, that's a lot of chicken.
Yeah. Well, we got a couple minutes here, but before we do, thank all you guys for showing up. I always appreciate it. And it was definitely another good chat. I can't believe we have enough stuff to talk about each and every night this week. It's been a lot of fun.
It always goes long range, though. Is that because that's what everybody's into now?
I think it's the what people want to know about.
It's a trend. Everybody's starting to go that way.
Yeah, it's good, but it's bad. It's a shame. It's not a shame, but the sport has changed so much, and manufacturers have brought a lot of good stuff to the table. Competition is always good, drives the market, but all the electronics have made it so much easier.
Mexican power bars, tamales.
Yeah, your smartphone and a rifle with a decent optic, and you are good to go.
Yeah,
that's a fact. That is a fact.
It's all about Rodriguez. Well, no, but I mean, if I know something, I'm going to answer it. If I don't know, I'll be the first to tell you I don't know. But
yeah, Rodriguez there, Mr. Extra. If you guys aren't familiar with Rodriguez here, his name's really Ray, and his channel is X-Ring.
Okay, so for the last 3 chats, I went Ricardo, Raimundo, Rodriguez. These were all aliases of mine in the past.
There you go.
You shouldn't have told me that.
Yes, they were.
I got a few other ones for you, too.
Kimchi and soju. Yeah, I had kimchi last night. My wife can cook some mean kalbi, bulgogi. Love it.
Yep. That's that rotten
No, that's kimchi.
cabbage,
It's
right?
rotten. It's fermented. And we make it here at the house.
Fermented cabbage. There you go.
Oh,
All right. Say goodbye, everybody. We're going to be wrapping this up. We only got 30 seconds.
Annyeonghaseyo. Shimika.
Can you tell her? Did you tell everybody bye in Korean?
Hello and bye.
Hello and bye. All right. Thanks again, guys. Make sure you get over to everybody's channel and subscribe. See you guys on the next one.
See you guys.
See ya.